Welcome, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Risings, to your November 2025 Astrology Horoscope. I'm Sarah at Life with Training Wheels, where I use astrology and other tools to help guide you to more self-empowerment, more self-growth, self-understanding, and tools to learn how to really take control of your own life and be the director of it. So if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for finding me. I hope you'll join me. If you're returning, thank you so much for returning. Go ahead and click the like, comment, like and subscribe button. It really does help me grow. I am a Western tropical zodiac astrologer using the whole house sign system. So what that means is you're going to want to listen to this astrology forecast for November using your rising sign first, because your rising sign is what sets up the house, where the houses fall, where the signs in the houses fall in your chart. So it'll be the most accurate in showing you where these things are showing up in your life. Sun sign, listening for that will be more potentially where you can exert your willpower, but more where you will be like career focused and things like that. And then the moon will be potentially where you'll be feeling this energy more at home, or how you'll be feeling this energy more at home, and just how you may be feeling more emotionally connected to this month's astrology. So rising sign first, then sun and moon, based on what information you're looking for. So I highly recommend, if you haven't, listening to the collective reading that I did, which I'll link up here. In it, I go over clearly the main astrology for the month, but also there are 4 planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, that aren't moving more than 1 degree this month. So I look at the meanings of the Sabian symbols of those degrees in that collective reading, and that could provide some overall, it provides some insight of what we're going through in the collective, which you are a part of. But then if you also apply that to the various houses that these fall in your individual chart, that could potentially be helpful for you. So I definitely recommend that you watch the collective reading before this one. If by chance you don't, just to give a quick overview, so the main things happening this month are that the entire month long we're having this grand water trine, which grand water trines provide a lot of opportunity for healing. Water is our emotions, so this could be a very emotional month for you personally and for the collective. Water signs are where we tend to feel our intuition and develop like our psychic abilities. So that could be something that is coming online for people this month. It is also, water signs ask us to go with the flow. So this month overall, we're being asked to go with the flow of things and not be so structured and stuck, and just go with the flow of life and learn to trust and kind of fall back, and review where we're feeling things, how we're feeling things, getting intimate with ourselves, things like that. But also when there's a bunch of trines, it can be hard to, it's a lot of opportunity, and it's where things are flowing harmoniously. But to really capitalize on any opportunities that are coming to us through this grand trine, it can be helpful to have some challenge. And so the main challenges this month are Jupiter is squaring Chiron the entire month, and then we will have a continuous square between all the personal planets going through Scorpio, one of the water signs, and we'll be having an opposition between all those Scorpio things things happening in Scorpio, and Uranus in Gemini, and then Uranus in Taurus when it moves back into Taurus. So those are potentially places where we can kind of activate and engage and capitalize on the opportunities that this beautiful flowing energy is striking for us. We also, like I just mentioned, have Uranus retrograding back into Taurus for, some final shakeups, some final sudden downloads on the lessons that we had been learning in Taurus and where we find comfort and stability and things like that. Mercury is going to be retrograde first in Sagittarius and then retrograding back into Scorpio, and won't turn back direct until the 29th. So Mercury is going to be retrograde basically the entire month. And then Jupiter will also be turning retrograde. We'll be having a full moon in Taurus and a new moon in Scorpio. And then Saturn at the end of the month will be turning direct. It'll be the first of the outer planets turning direct. So now I'm going to pull up your chart and see how this might be playing out, see where all this is playing out for you in particular. Okay, so I have Scorpio rising on the screen here. So the water signs are Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. So as you can see, this grand water trine is happening for you in your 1st, 5th, and 9th houses. And this is a very beneficial month because all these trines are coming to you, your house of self and identity. So you could be receiving a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth. 5th house is our creativity, our joy, our romance, our children, our inner child. It is where we like to play and enjoy life. And it is, one of the most beneficial signs for us because it trines us, it brings a lot to us, brings a lot of luck to us. And same with the 9th house. The 9th house is our belief systems, our ideas, where we engage in higher education, higher thought, can be also foreign travel or foreign cultures. But it is really, when looking at our belief systems, right, it's bringing us a lot of blessings with those belief systems. So the 9th and the 5th house are the most benefic houses for you personally. So you're receiving all this beautiful flowing energy coming to you. And it's really actually kind of coming from you, because what's keeping this this water grand trine engaged the entire month is the parade of planets that are going to be going through Scorpio. So like right now on the 5th, it is Lilith that is engaging with this water trine, right? So Lilith is kind of very much similar to Scorpio energy. It can be where we really want to express things, but perhaps we feel shame or whatever around it. Feel like we shouldn't express these types of things, that people won't like us if we do those types of things. But then we're also going to have throughout the month the sun be at these later degrees engaging with this water trine. Venus will be engaging with this water trine. We have a new moon later in the month on November 19th that will be actively engaged in this water grand trine, bringing us lots of new beginnings to ourself, with a lot of opportunity flowing from the 5th house and 9th house. And then we also will have Mercury retrograding back into Scorpio this month, activating this grand trine. So you potentially being Scorpio in the 1st house, you could be initiating a lot of these opportunities, or just opportunities will be coming to you from these areas kind of in a very, methodical manner as these planets interact with it, which we'll talk about a little bit more. So with that, it could be like with Lilith here right now, you could be receiving opportunities from this Jupiter in Cancer and Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. You could be receiving opportunities in regards to your Lilith and how you feel afraid to be seen in certain aspects, and you could be getting opportunities to like love and accept and show those parts of you from your 5th house of children or romantic partners or whatever. Maybe there's boundaries or just wishing, looking at how with Neptune how you wish things could be. Or Jupiter provides opportunities in and of itself. So perhaps there's opportunities to change your belief systems, to look at, past belief systems, where you've gotten it from your ancestry, which can be things that Cancer represents, or just your emotional world, like being able to dive into that. Or when the sun is here, maybe there's, your ego is being involved, and your drive and your willpower for what you want to do and work with in this lifetime and what skills you want to learn. There could be opportunities there. When Venus is engaged with this grand trine, perhaps there's opportunities going to be coming to you with your love and finances and things like that. And then when Mercury retrograde is engaging with this, again, maybe it's communication opportunities or short distance travel opportunities or just change of thoughts and ideal opportunities. But then if we also just look at what, Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde in your 5th house means, right? 5th house, like I said, is our joy, our creativity, our passion. So this is kind of asking us and providing us this beautiful flow of energy to where we have too many or lack boundaries with regards to these 5th house themes, and our Neptune with where we've either deceived ourselves or been deceived by others, as well as this is where we dream things into existence. So Neptune and Saturn working together. Neptune dissolves boundaries. Saturn builds boundaries. So we're both building foundations and structures, as well as tearing down and dissolving those that no longer serve us in this 5th house. So dreaming and building these opportunities that are going to serve us, like it's really flowing beautiful. And then with Jupiter in the 9th house in Cancer, bringing us lots of opportunities in regards to teaching. Maybe we're taking our joy and our passion and we're teaching. Perhaps we are engaged in higher educational pursuits with something, studying our passion, or, our belief systems, perhaps they are changing. That's 9th house things, or getting the opportunity to travel or just learn about different cultures. This can be, 9th house can be very paradigm shifting. Maybe you're having a lot of opportunities of shifting your paradigm, shifting your belief system, but you're being asked to go with the flow. Go with the flow of what's changing for you. Go with the flow of, what your joy, what would bring you the most joy in the current moment, and what does it feel like to follow that? And then really focusing before Saturn turns direct at the end of the month, like what boundaries or structures need to be dissolved, and what are you trying to build, and really kind of focusing on where you need to make those final shifts. is going to be really beautiful and key for you. So like I said at the beginning, though, sometimes when we have these beautiful trine energies, like everything is just flowing, like the opportunities are coming, but we might let them pass us by if we don't act on them, because it just feels so easy, right? So we might miss it because it feels so easy. So sometimes the best way to work with this and to capitalize on it is to see where there might be any challenge involved. So Jupiter here is involved in this square all month long to Chiron and Aries in your 6th house of daily routines, habits, work, health. So how can you improve your health, right? How can you, that could be a thing. How can you improve your daily habits, improve your health? Where have you, the Chiron and Aries is the wounds that we have to our I am, where we have diminished ourselves for the sake of others. So this could be, and with this being also the house of work, this could be where in routines, where have we basically sabotaged our own routines, sabotaged our own work, or not put our focus on the things that we want in our routine and our work for the sake of others. Jupiter here with this teaching, with this higher learning, with our belief systems could be, providing us some challenge to really put ourselves first, to heal this wound, to know that it's okay to ask for the things that we want and to be seen the way that we want to be seen, and to do that. Like, we are allowed to exist. We are allowed to take up space in our daily habits, routines. We don't always have to meld to other people. We need to consider them. And that is the other thing, this other, opposition. So squares ask us to kind of make a change, make a decision, like act. Oppositions ask us to remain balanced. So all month long, between all the parade of things going on in the later degrees of Scorpio in your 1st house, your house of self, and this Uranus in Gemini and then Taurus. So the square between self and your 8th house of shared resources, and then your 7th house of an intimacy, and then the 7th house of partnerships and relationships and things like that. So as all these opportunities are coming towards you, and as you're taking up space in the work that you want to do and the daily habits and routines that you need to heal, where you have maybe put yourself last, you do still need to think about how that affects the intimacy or shared resources with others, or how, that just affects your partnership and those that you are engaged with on whether it's romantic partnerships, best friends, business partnerships, whatever. We do still need to, as these opportunities come to us, consider those that we are more intimate with, and make sure that we are remaining balanced. So that is how to engage with this grand water trine energy this month. And then the other things going on that I just want to highlight is the full moon is happening in Taurus. So looking at the balance between yourself and others on November 5th. On November 7th, we have Uranus retrograding back into Taurus, kind of finalizing any shakeups or any anything that needs to be restructured still, or break out of boxes in regards to our relationships. Ninth house, or on the 9th, Mercury is going to be stationing retrograde in Sagittarius before it moves back into Scorpio on the 18th, and then it will turn direct on the 29th. Okay, and then on the 11th, we have Jupiter turning retrograde in your ninth house. So this could be bringing back any old opportunities that you didn't take advantage of the first time around. You could be getting a new opportunity for like a teaching position or a travel opportunity, or finishing up some higher education, higher learning. Those could be or just really diving in internally, because Jupiter is also, or retrograde is also when we turn the energy internally. So really a chance to evaluate the belief systems that you have. Let's see. And then we have on the 19th, a new moon in Scorpio. So an opportunity for a lot of new beginnings coming through with this magical grand trine. So that'll be amazing. And then on the 27th, Saturn will be turning direct. So this is where fifth house is where you want to really kind of work with the Saturn and what it has worked with you as far as boundaries and limitations and restrictions, and where you need to get serious about things in your fifth house themes. So with your kids, with your inner child, with your creativity, joy, passion, with your romance, things like that. So taking the opportunity up until the 27th to really, consider what you've been learning, what you need to change in order to start building the foundation. I think it's really beautiful that Saturn is the first one turning direct out of all these outer planets that have been retrograde, because it really is enabling us to start with the foundation and encourage us to start with the foundation of building the new life and the new world that we want to see, really, before, starting with our creativity and our joy and, all these things before we move into this 0 degrees of Aries, and just Aries overall, where we're going to take those new beginnings, as that is the first sign of the zodiac. It's one of the most potent degrees in the entire zodiac wheel, and it's where we are going to be showcasing our new selves and everything like that. But we have to start from here in order to get where we want to go to here. So that is the month of November. I hope this video has been helpful. I would love to see comments with how this is hitting you. For me personally, I have Uranus in Scorpio in the later degrees. I'm also a Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon, although they are in the earlier degrees of Scorpio, so they won't be hitting a lot of these things exact, but it is my season. But yeah, I'm fascinated to see how that Uranus and the activation of it basically all month long plays out for me personally. I'd love to hear if you have any planets in those later, 5 or so degrees, maybe 5 to 10 degrees of Scorpio, and see how you're feeling things in particular as well. And I look forward to seeing you here next month. Have a great November.